All right, aloha friends. Another episode of Game Time with the Goss. I am Brian Gossett with GM Sports Media, and today joined with my good buddy Chuck Licata with the State Volleyball Insider. And I know that it's his one of his favorite times of the year.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite times, volleyball playoffs officially kick off. We just finished the regular season on Tuesday. We got tie-breaking and seeding type games coming up on Friday, and the by-district round starts on Monday. So I know, Chuck, you're excited. We'll start with the end of the regular season, just that finish. Who are some surprise teams, at least here in DFW, uh, that made a strong finish in the regular season?
I really think, Goss, I think you got to start with Plano East. I mean, you picked Plano West to win. I figured they'd be up there. I kind of picked Flower Mound to win that district, but figured, they got to beat Plano West. Everything, surrounded Plano East this year. And they're probably set a record for most wins in a season. They just don't have any records before 2002. I talked to their coach and Sandy Perez, and she said they just don't have any records before then. So they're kind of going, this is the modern day record. So, kudos to them. Phenomenal. Joshua, I think, didn't win district, but finished second. I believe I read on your tweet at GMS Sports Media tweet that they just set a record for most wins in a season, or most district wins, one or the other.
Most district wins and most wins overall in 11 years. Highest playoff seed too in 11 years. So
there you go. Yeah.
Obviously Whitworth and the Joshua Owls.
There you go. Morgan Collier, of course, our girl, doing extremely well. Wow. So much fun to watch them develop over the year. As far as other teams, hard to believe that you call a district winner a surprise, but South Lake Carroll running the table. Really, I don't want to say surprised, but surprised they ran the table in that district. Phenomenal.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on South Lake. Totally agree.
What's that?
Totally agree.
Yeah, and Leslie Jackson, you were putting out Coach of the Year candidates. I mean, certainly Leslie Jackson's, got to be up there. So, and really kind of that's where the surprises are, more towards the top. I mean, because really it's playoff time, so you got to talk about playoff teams. And the fun match coming up Friday night at Hebron, 6:30, Plano East and Flower Mound. Man, I'll tell you what, if there's one volleyball match to go to, that's going to be it. I texted Jamie Siegel's husband, Brian. Jamie Siegel, of course, coach of Flower Mound. And I jokingly texted, I said, so let me guess, there's going to be a flip for district, for seeding. And he goes, Jamie. That's all he said. Jamie. Jamie wanted to play it off. It turns out the Plano East coach wanted to play it off too. So it's a perfect matchup. And man, that's going to be fireworks right there.
Yeah, like you said, I had Plano West winning district. I had Flower Mound coming in second. I actually had Plano East, I think, fifth or sixth before I found out that they had the addition of Lola Lambert, and my goodness, what an addition she makes, because
a little bit
going to Arkansas, All-American type player, and yeah, just having a phenomenal year. Just going off your Salt Lake info, yeah, I mean Salt Lake is a surprise team. Like you said, not really a surprise in the sense of, maybe missing. You didn't think they were going to make the playoffs, but
right.
I think I had them third or fourth because I still, thought maybe Byron Nelson, Keller. I mean, I tweeted out too. This is the first time they won district in 7 years.
Wow.
They're always playing those Byron Nelsons, Keller, and so.
Is that was that Michelle Glenn the last time they won it, when she played the University of Minnesota player? Is that when they won?
I think that she might have been a freshman.
Okay, yeah.
The class before her, but it was with Ryan Mitchell and Asia O'Neill, who's
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
But man, I was thinking about Salt Lake, and it was good for Leslie because, one, she was hired real late. She was hired in June.
Oh yeah.
And so, I mean, school is already out. People are on playing club and going on vacation during the summer. I don't know how much time she had with those girls before July 31st, but it
Not
helped her.
much.
It helped her. It was a blessing because I knew Salt Lake was going to be better than last year because they had a
Mhm.
large number of kids back from last year's roster. And so that just they had already had that bond, right, Chuck?
Mhm.
And so that just helped Leslie out. And I kind of saw it going in the tournament play. They're playing some tough teams, picking up some good wins. I think
Yeah,
most of the losses are during tournament season, but to very
right.
good teams. So I could kind of see it already that okay, Salt Lake, might go in and win District 4-6A. So congratulations to Leslie. Um, Again, just maybe not. I'll get your take. I don't know where you had McKinney Boyd to start the season, but
Oh yeah.
to win that district and to go 30-1, and how many
Yeah.
teams enter the playoffs with one loss? And she's got a
No.
good win against Prestonwood, JJ
Mhm.
Castillo, that is, which is another obvious choice for Coach of the Year candidate. But I can't remember where I had them in my district predictions for 5-6A, but definitely didn't think they were going to go 30-1.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think either one of us picked them to win district. So kudos to them. Phenomenal run again. That early win against Prestonwood probably seemed to set the tone for them a little bit. And again, I want to mention. I think I got the name wrong. Sarah Perez is the head coach of Plano East. And again, first year at there, and I got to do a couple stories on her and talk to her throughout the season. And she said everybody just believed, you got to shake off that Plano West, across the net to get anywhere. And they were able to do it. They swept them the second time around district. I mean, just phenomenal for the Panthers. And again, taking on Flower Mound for the number 1 seed on Friday. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, and by the way, that's not the only seeding game in that district 6-6A. You also got Plano Senior High and Hebron going for the fourth and final spot. Winners
Yeah.
and losers stay. So two good matchups there on Friday.
Just in that district alone, there's plenty others.
Real quick for 6A, just want to mention Haltom is a surprise team.
Mhm.
First playoff trip since 2008. And then Cedar Hill, I mean, I have to go back and look at their records, but maybe most wins in a long time. They were fighting to the last day of the season on Tuesday for a district championship, going in as the number 2 seed in 11-6A. So those are my 5 sort of surprise picks in 6A. You kind of mentioned Joshua. I have to agree there. I think maybe you could argue this as the number 1 overall. I mean, Burleson Centennial,
Right.
in Joshua's district, they were almost undefeated, had 1 loss to Joshua
Mhm.
last Friday. But man, they're sort of in that Salt Lake discussion because Stephanie Smith, their coach, new coach, and she was hired even later than
Wow.
Leslie Jackson. I mean, I can remember, they do the camps at school with the little kids,
Right.
and it was still the coach from last year, Jessica
Oh
Tyler.
my Lord. Wow.
But
Jeez.
like Carol, they had a large number of kids back, so that really helped Coach Smith out. But now the number 1 seed in 8-5A, and will get Grapevine in the first round. Real quick, I mean Granbury in 5-5A. I had them
Go
missing the playoffs.
Pirates.
I had them missing the playoffs. They finished third. They actually got a huge upset win against Northwest.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
First, I think first is Centennial and 10-5A. I think I had them missing the playoffs by a couple games. They finished fourth. Madison Victorino is a monster. I mean, she's I you see my story or tweets, but my favorite stat in volleyball is the triple double. I love
Yes.
doubles. That and the birthday ball. Those are my 2 favorite things in volleyball. But
I
uh,
saw a Bermuda Triangle.
Bermuda Triangle.
Yep, I saw one yesterday, right, or Friday or something. Yeah,
Yesterday was
yeah.
Charlotte Young with Saxy, but
The Goss with the terminology, baby, rolling it.
Victorino's in that category with the triple doubles, and then I had them second in district. They ended up winning district. It's Argyle. I mean, a
Yeah.
little bit of surprise, but I mean they're playing super well. Caitlin Johnson, and again,
Hmm.
that brought so many back. So you're really seeing the experienced teams, making a statement here uh, in the regular season.
Yeah, and Caitlin Johnson took over last year, inherited the job last year, and that was when they made a jump from 4A to 5A.
Yeah.
So she not only took over a good program, but I think overall she's made it better and at a higher level. I mean, that's tough when you do that. The other thing about Leslie Jackson, the other coaches that inherit a team late, you inherit a team that late, you're stuck with the schedule. You don't
Right.
have a choice of changing anything in your schedule. You're playing the schedule that's laid out for you. That in itself can be tough. And, Leslie, especially at South Lake Carroll's, they played all the tough tournaments, so they got she really got a good chance to evaluate the talent she had. And we saw enough of them in the preseason to know, yeah, they're going to be good.
Talking with Chuck Licata, State Volleyball Insider, uh, we a little bit talked about it, just intriguing first round games. What do you think is a couple of them?
Honestly, we obviously have to wait for seeding. So I'm going to redirect just a little bit. I think as far as potential regional championship matchups, if you will, I'll go there. I think, again, because of seeding questions, we still don't know who's going to play who in the bracket. So I'm going to go with 5 teams out of 6A and 5A that I think, could play in the regional championship. South Lake Carroll, Byron Nelson. I think that's a staple. Somebody's going to get there, and again, they may play each other in the early rounds. We just don't know yet because of seeding. Flower Mound and Plano East. I think Plano East is for real. I don't think they need that. Okay, well, this year they'll go a couple rounds of the playoffs, and then next year they might get better. No, I think they're there now. The fact that they swept Plano West the second time around says that they're there. And the team, I don't think we've ever talked about Rockwall. Travis Ferguson and Rockwall, they're stellar. They're consistent. They've been there the entire year. And again, depending on seeding and how it works out, I think Rockwall has a chance to be, playing for a trip to state, just depending on the brackets. And real quick, Boyd, Pierce, Prosper, and Saxe are my quote unquote upset favorites to beat one of the teams I just mentioned and get a chance at regionals and state.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure Byron and Salt Lake wouldn't meet till the 5th round because they're the top 2 seeds. Of course, the 4-6A would most likely come back to the 3rd round and face each other. I mean, I'm just, unless they face in the 4th round, maybe it's the 5th round. I'm going to say Salt Lake Carroll and McKinney Boyd in the regional final, winner to state. That's my prediction.
Okay.
I do like the Plano East. Of course, you can't count out Jamie and Flower Mound because they've been there before.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I mean, the one that jumped out to me, the first rounders, because we see it all the time in District 5 and District 6, that those first rounders are not your typical. You throw away the seedings out. That's not 1 versus 4. But I mean, I'd have to say the one that jumped out was Prosper and Plano West. But I know Prosper's playing at a high level. Aiden Ames is again. I said the triple double is a stat I like. I mean, she has put up 3 triple doubles, Chuck, with blocks.
Wow. That's saying something. Holy cow.
Bigs and blocks, which you don't see too often. But yeah, I mean, we saw it a couple of years ago where I think Prosper, number 1 seed, got upset by a 4. The history seems to repeat itself in this by district for 5 and 6. We're going to see an upset. I mean, McKinney Boyd is my, like I said, going to the regional final, my prediction. But I mean, if they run, you can't take Hebron or Plano lightly in that first round.
No, absolutely not. Here's the funny thing too. I was talking to Butch Hart. He does the TGCA polls, and of course, he's my mentor in this whole deal for volleyball since '99, which is longer than most of these girls have been alive. Next Tuesday is Halloween night. You're gonna see upsets. It just happens. It's like playing on Friday the 13th. There's gonna be upsets that you didn't see coming.
Always, we always get that. In 5A, I would probably say in Region 1 at least, District 7 and District 8.
Yeah.
Last year we saw District 7 going 8-0 in the first two rounds. Argyle, there's two rematches actually. Argyle's taking on Midlothian, and Midlothian Heritage is taking on Colleyville Heritage.
Get that straight.
Yeah. And it's funny because, like I tweeted out the other day, just the difference a year makes. Midlothian was the #1 seed last year. Argyle was #4. Argyle upset them. Flip it around, Argyle's the first seed and Midlothian fourth. And then with the Heritage teams, Midlothian took Colleyville to 5-6 last year. So we could see a couple of good matchups there. And then Joshua takes on Birdville and Arlington on Monday, and Grapevine takes on Burleson Centennial. So that's a tough district. District 7 is a tough district, and we did it all year.
Yeah. I've got, as far as like potential state regional finals candidates, Argyle, obviously, I've been, with Caitlin Johnson, that team the entire year. Northwest, I think they get over the bubble. They had that great run, the program record-setting win streak, program record for wins last year. I think they take that next step. I think individually, and here's a little, gosh, I can't think of the word. I'll think of it later. Northwest has player per player, I think, one of the most talented teams in 5A. Just player per player. You look at the players, it's amazing. And spoiler alert, the GMS Sports Media interviewee tomorrow, the player interview, Madison Scribner, the general.
The general, love it.
The general coming at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. And that's the GMS Sports Media player interview, which, by the way, thank you again for sponsoring. That's phenomenal. It got a lot of great feedback on just getting to know a little bit in depth with girls. And the great part of this, not to take away from where we're going, but the question about what's it like, what are the challenges of a teenager these days, and especially not just a student athlete, but just, students, kids that maybe don't participate in sports or band or something extracurricular. And I think Madison tomorrow has the best answer. We've gotten some great answers. She has a really good answer to that question tomorrow. So that'll be 8 a.m. tomorrow morning at Big D Media 19 on X and Big D Media 19 on Facebook and Instagram.
Awesome. Yeah, Madison committed to UNT. She's already broken the assist single match record twice, which previously had been
broken on records.
It had to been broken, Chuck, in 14 years, and she broke it twice. So, but yeah, I can agree with what you said. Just player for player, Northwest is a very dangerous team. I mean, when you have 3 starters that are committed to play at the next level, that says a lot. And they got a real big boost with Lily Croshaw in the middle, 6'5", 6'6" middle, coming from Byron. She's committed to Illinois State. But yeah, I mean, Northwest is a good one. The regional finals in 5A Region 1. I mean, if we want to go more out west, because I mean, you look at the Amarillos and the public schools. Can you see any of those fighting for a regional final spot?
I think Amarillo High School themselves will give it a good run because they've been ranked high all year. They were consistent in tournament play. In fact, they beat the 4A team Randall, and then Randall turned around and beat them. So I think Amarillo, out of going farther west down the road, I think that's the school that can, maybe surprise. I've got them on my list of surprises for regional potential. To finish out real quick, so I've got Northwest, Argyle, Colleyville Heritage, Wakeland, and Lovejoy as a team, again, depending on seeding and where everything goes, I think those are teams that should battle it out at regionals. Amarillo, McKinney North, Aledo, which won 5A. Kudos to Claire Gay, and the Bobcats on that. And then Mansfield. Mansfield has a chance. I think Mansfield has a chance to make some noise in playoffs. What do you think?
Yeah, they're in that Rockwall, Saxby region.
Mm-hmm.
And Rockwall went to the regional tournament last year. Mansfield, I believe, went to the regional tournament last year. And maybe they just won last night and to pick up the overall #1 seed and district title for them. So maybe that carries over. And they have a coach that has won a couple of playoff games in her time, and
Just a little bit.
Julie Price, 3-time state champ. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I do like Mansfield and Rockwall and Saxby in that region. I agree with you. I think if it sets up this way, I do think Wakeland and Lovejoy will play
Yeah.
5A Region 2 final for state. McKinney North got a slow start, but has picked it up.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, they lost on Tuesday. Melissa had a big time win to tie for runner up in that district.
Right.
And then Forney won District 14.
Yeah.
Watch out for Forney. Frisco Liberty is always, unfortunately, they always match up with Wakeland in the third round. But
Right.
if they can get over Wakeland, who knows about the Red Hawks, because they have one of the best players around in MJ McCurdy, who's I think maybe number 3 or 4 in kills in DFW. But
Right.
that's why it's fun. That's why it's fun.
Exactly.
This time of year.
And there's going to be upsets. There's going to be a team in the first rounds. It's like, wait a minute, how did they lose? So yeah, it's coming. That's what makes it fun.
Let's see. And just want to give a couple more shout outs, talking about surprise teams.
Mm-hmm.
Go west here in the Metroplex to Parker County, Peaster Lady Hounds in District 8-3A. I didn't. They finished 14-0, district champs again. I did not see them going 14-0. They graduated a ton of talent. I've always told her this. Peyton Hall, she graduated. She's playing basketball at ACU now. I think best athlete that Peaster's ever had. She graduated.
Really? Wow.
so much talent. So much girls had graduated, and here they are. They stumped the Goss. They go 14-0. They won that district. Autumn, the coach there for the Lady Hounds, great job. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a little bit before we started the show. If we go down in the lower classes, I guess we'll start with 4A. Last year was Canyon Randall.
Mm-hmm.
Is Canyon Randall just as good? Did you see them going back to Garland?
Yeah, I mean they're just so good. They their setter. I can't think of her name offhand. Just hit 3,000 career assists and doing really well. Jordan Gov hit 1,500 digs and 1,500 kills. I mean, phenomenal all around player. They've got all around talent. That's the thing. You can go, okay, well, setter, hitter, libero, but they're one of the teams that they mix real well with everything. So 4A, I think, you're looking. They lost to West Plains late in the season, so that kind of upset the card a little bit, but I think they're still, I still think you got to look at them as a favorite. Belleville, Susan Brewer looking for her 10th state championship as a head coach. I don't think she gets it. I think there's just too much talent around. Floresville is really good. Godly, I've always thought Godly right down the road from Granbury here, they've got some potential, they've got some talent. I really think that there's a chance. And here's my question to you, Goss. So let's play Stump the Goss. Decatur. What are your thoughts of Decatur? Had the early win against Prestonwood. Okay, big win for them. They were under 500 for most of the season, but they still won their district, and they're back over 500. What are your thoughts on Decatur?
Decatur will go to the regional tournament.
Wow.
They're a lock for a regional tournament. They have, if not the hardest non-district schedule around, no matter the class. I mean, I mean, I think before their first district game, they're kind of like Blum. They don't play anybody in their
Right.
4A. They're playing
Right.
5A and 6A. They're playing in, the Mansfield tournament. They're playing at the Northwest tournament. These are tough tournaments, and
Hmm.
they're maybe not getting the wins and losses that they want. But I mean, it only helps them down the road. And you kind of saw that against Prestonwood when they upset Prestonwood. Uh,
Right.
just another team with a lot of experience from last year, Gracie Trilson, who's committed to West Texas A&M, which is always known for their volleyball program. She's only a junior, but yeah, she's playing really well. Morgan Hammer, the libero.
Hmm.
I think Decatur. I don't think any. I think last year third round was Glen Rose against Decatur. Decatur won. I do see that matchup again, but
Right.
Decatur will probably run into Randall in the fourth round, and you know we'll see what happens there.
Piece
But
of fireworks there, baby.
yeah, um, but yeah, I mean, you mentioned Randall going back to state. I know I believe right Belleville was a state tournament team,
Right. They
and
were state tournament last year. Yep.
and then Aubrey and Salina, who are playing for the first place seeding game in their district on Friday. They split the season series. I mean, we'll see about them. I mean, they faced off in the regional final last year. Aubrey, obviously, both have really good
Right.
players, but I mean, can you see either one of those? I mean, could you see Aubrey going back to state?
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you got a case for both of them. Really, Salinas had so much talent the last, 3, 4 years. They're always up there. And of course, when you make state once, repeating is hard, but you got that mindset. You know what it takes to get over, especially when you do it the next year. So yeah, absolutely. Either one of those teams could make it. And I think their playoff run might be the tone for that might be set by what they do on Friday in the
seeding game. Yeah,
matchup. Yeah.
totally agree.
Yeah.
Going down to 3A, Gunner was the defending champ. Bushland
Mhm.
runner up. But you like Goliad.
Yeah. The Goliath Tigers, this is Jess Odom. I think it was 17 and 18 or 16, 17 when they won back to back. Jess Odom is a really good coach. And, in class 3A, of course, you don't get, all the students and the players at, the 5A, 6A level. She's got not only a really good team, but she's got a tall team. And I was talking to Butch Hart about that, and he likes them too. So we kind of feel like that's the team to beat in Class 3A. Now, of course, Gunther, had a little bit of a rough start getting out of the blocks, but they've recovered. They've done well. They're 28 and 10 on the year coming in to playoffs. So, and again, just like we're talking about with Aubrey, when you get to state once, and of course they've been to state the last 3 years, so they know exactly what it takes to get to state, even though they've got a new coach. So certainly those Tigers have a chance as well. Around the state, you're looking at Bushland. This is a coach that's been to state 11 times and looking for number 12. Now he lost his setter, and they lost a key hitter. But again, at this level, at the 3A level, sometimes you can get by, in a region like that. So we'll see where that goes. Fairfield, Columbus, of course, down by Belleville. That's always a really good district, good area of volleyball there. Fairfield is 34 and 4. Fairfield kind of, like a McKinney Boyd, you knew they were going to be good, but you just didn't know they were going to be that good. They could be a potential, San Antonio Randolph. That's a team that hasn't really had a volleyball history, but they've got a lot of talent. And I talked to a buddy of mine that covers them, and he says they're incredibly athletic this year. And you know how good athletic teams can be. And even though they might have a chance to get to regionals for the first time in a while, this could be one of those. It doesn't matter. They're not thinking, oh my God, we're here. They might be thinking, hey, we know what we need to do to win. So, 3A, I would say, is a little bit more on the top heavy side as far as, overall state. But I think, it's Goliad and the field right now in 3A.
Yeah, like I mentioned, Peaster, they went to the third round last year. I think they ran into Iowa Park. So I kind of expect Peaster to maybe make third or fourth round this year. and then
Mhm.
Region 2, which is Gunner's region, a potential playoff matchup. I'm not sure when it would happen, if it would happen, but Ponder, and a Gunner playoff game would, I think, be awesome to go and watch because I mean,
Mhm.
Ponder's been playing really well. They won their district, kind of playing maybe with a little chip on their shoulder. I mean, they went through a tragedy a couple years back, losing a player who actually would have been a senior this year. So kind of like heavy on their hearts. But I think a Ponder Gunner game would be awesome to watch and maybe even broadcast.
Hey, potentially, absolutely. Yep. Yep.
Um, okay, so 2A and 1A. I mean, I think 1A we already know what it runs
Blum.
through. Blum,
One word, Blum.
Blum.
Or 3 words, Blum Lady Cats.
There you
Everything
go.
goes in 1A. Everything goes through Blum. Now, you're looking at Dehanus, which is just one district, and I can't think of their name. They were a regional semi. They were at state and regional semifinalists for the first time ever. And I can't think of their name. Anyways, Round Top Carmine, which was a power back in the 90s, is back up. Oh, Benjamin, that's it. Benjamin was the team I was trying to think of. Benjamin is they're out of Region 1. So they've got a chance to get back. Harold, Harrold, the Hornets, they're 31-5. And I think, Butch said he maybe saw him coming. I didn't see him coming at all. But they're 31-5. They've beaten some good teams. So I think, Harold has a chance as well. And Natchez, you may remember Natchez back in 16, 17, 18, they won 3 consecutive state championships. They're back. Those Tigers are back for real. So they could make a run as well. They're 25-8 this year, but they've really taken off, last couple months after tournament season started. So I think if you look at the overall in 1A, it's Blum against the field, but that field's pretty darn good. And there's a lot of history with some of those programs in that field.
I want to kind of jump back, just get your thoughts about 6A and 5A outside of DFW. I know I've seen them once, and I already know too, but you're high on Grand
Grand
Oaks
Oaks.
6A.
Yep. Yeah, I think Grand Oaks, that again, state goes for Grand Oaks. We talked about the fact that they haven't lost since they lost in the semifinals of the Volleyball tournament back in August to Prestonwood. They've run the table since then. I mean, 38-1, and really just, this is the team that everybody's looking at as, the high potential. I think we didn't talk about, I think Region 1 out of 6A is the toughest region. You got 4 or 5 teams
Oh yeah, hands down.
represent the region well at state. And they just, unfortunately, they have to play each other, which is really tough. So as far as the state goes in 6A, Lake Travis has run the table. They've done a great job. Brandis Boren has built that program up. They keep reaching new potentials or new program records as far as playoff wins and stuff. I think, they're for real. They beat Dripping Springs 3 times this year. 3 times they beat the defending state champs. Woodlands semifinals last year, I don't think that they've got the power. This might be a slump year, even though they might go, 3 rounds. And Cy Ranch, which has a new coach this year, Cy Ranch has got a lot of individual talent. Cy Ranch could be the surprise team in the overall 6A state level that we're talking about, once we get to tournament time. And again, they're out of the Houston area as well. And plus, everybody we talked about, you and I talked about up here in the DFW area, you have to give consideration because, again, I think team for team, the most talented teams are up here in the Metroplex. I'm not saying that because we cover and I live here. I'm saying it because it's true.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
you're going to have to deal with my 3 dogs, okay?
I've only got to see him play once, Grand Oaks, but I will go with you and say, yeah, the 6A runs through Grand Oaks. 5A, I think we've seen a couple of DFW versus DFW state title games. We could see it
Yeah.
again. I would love to see maybe an Argyle versus Lovejoy in the state championship game in 5A. That would be awesome. But I mean Lovejoy right now has to be the favorite in 5A, right?
Yeah, and you're talking a just we talked about Northwest Argyle, Colleyville Heritage, Wakeland, Lovejoy. Any one of those teams could win state easily. Argyle beat Heritage. They beat them out for the district championship, but Heritage is just as good. They proved that the second time around. So 5A out of the Austin area and down south, Liberty Hill and Rouse, and really. Maybe New Braunfels Canyon, but I don't think any of those teams have the talent to match what we have up here in DFW. Houston, Full Share, and Barbers Hill. Barbers Hill is a surprise a little bit at 36-7. But when you get to the state level, I don't think that they're able to do it. Down in the valley, you're looking at Mission Sharyland, 42-1. And then Flower Bluff out of Corpus Christi, which has always been good, just never been able to get to that next level. We might see them at state. There's a potential. But I think if you're talking about favorites, like you said, I think it's up here in the DFW area. And Lovejoy, probably number one, but the thing is, if you talk to Natalie Puckett, they got to get out of region and they're probably going to be facing Wakeland. That's a tough matchup right there. That's like Argyle and Colleyville Heritage playing each other.
Yeah, Lovejoy will probably get a real good matchup, third, fourth, and fifth round. So
right.
If we can get past that, it's state is theirs.
Yeah. Wouldn't argue.
I'll just because I got a couple of shout outs, not like we've already given thousands of already, but
you mean cross off the list?
I know. I got a couple more, and you can add to it if you want, but
okay, sure.
Just want to make sure I get it in. Watch Saxby on Tuesday for the District 9 6A championship. Great game.
Right. Nice article.
Thank you. They were down 23-21 in the fourth. Wiley East was looking to force a fifth, and Saxby scored the last four to take that. 11th straight season with a district trophy, and this is their 20th season, a varsity season overall at that school. 16 district championships in 20 seasons.
Wow.
All with the same coach, head coach Ricky Jones. So a staple and standard for volleyball in the Garland area. Rockwall, one district, undefeated in District 10, 6A. Their fifth straight district championship, and I believe 36 straight district wins.
Wow.
Dating back to 2019.
Right.
I said Haltom, 2008 was their last playoff spot. Kristen Holbrooks, I believe, in her second year, so good job for Haltom. Fossil Ridge, first playoff spot since 2017. One of the top players in the state, and Laney Piles going to LSU. Didn't make the playoffs, but I think good things to come is Prosper Walnut Grove, just their first year playing volleyball. Autumn Lloyd, who came over for Canton, I think they were a game out of a fourth spot in District 10 5A. Got a pretty good win last night to finish off against Memorial, who's going to playoffs. So Daniel Whitmire is another one of my other triple double girls. So just a sophomore. I think good things to come for Walnut Grove. And then Lauren Perry. We're talking about all these achievements and playoffs and state and all this. She's not going to make the playoffs. Her career officially ended on Tuesday. Lauren Perry from Denton. She'll sign with UT El Paso in a couple of weeks. But
nice.
Led DFW in kills last season, over 700. She's number one currently in DFW this season. Over 2,000 plus kills. So just an incredible career for her.
Okay. Well, I've got three to do. One, first and foremost, should save this for last, but I'm going to do this now. GM Sports Media, you, Maddie, your partner, it's been a phenomenal run. I mean, we've had a lot of fun interacting, sharing each other's stuff. I know that Big D Sports Media or Big D Media 19 on Twitter and on other social media has picked up a lot of followers just because of what we have shared with each other. I think you got a great You got something great there. It's always tough to start a website. It's horrible. There's so many that have failed before you. So, kudos to y'all. Y'all have done it right. I really believe. Plus, we're talking volleyball, but football, you guys are just as knowledgeable. So kudos, tip of the cap.
I appreciate that, buddy.
Yulani Womble, head coach of Wakeland, 400th career victory. Between Rockwall and Wakeland, I think those are the two teams that just never get talked about for some reason. So shout out to those two programs, Travis Ferguson, over at Rockwall. They do it right. They do it consistent. I got a chance to finally meet Yulani down at Volleypalooza, and of course at the Northwest tournament. And just, phenomenal lady, just really knows her volleyball. Not as intense as some coaches, so you can kid around with her a little bit. Picked up the 400th win earlier this season. And again, probably, a co-favorite to get to the regional tournament. And the last one is the one that's playing the team that we talked about this before we started, the team that's playing for fourth place that I said would make the playoffs, Go Hawks of Hebron and Karen Keeney. If you don't know who Karen Keeney is, 38th year as a head coach. Unfortunately, she never kept records, her personal records, because some coaches, I don't want to keep personal. It's just, that's showboating. No, you have to keep records. So those of us in the media and people in your own program can, they can compare you to other coaches and the accomplishments like Yulani, 400th career victory. I guarantee you, Karen's, probably near 800, if not near 900. We just won't know. And I'm trying to talk her into, doing a composite. She might do it after 2 years of being retired. Who knows when that's coming. But, shout out to Karen Keeney, one of the most lovable coaching figures. I think every coach watching this will say that. They've had a great run in. And I talked to a lot of coaches over the year who love her and have said, Karen has influenced me in this way. I've learned a lot from Karen, so kudos to him. And hopefully she gets that chance, because she said last year when they didn't make the playoffs, oh my God, she was bored to tears. And she didn't go to playoff matches after they didn't make the playoffs. So hoping they get a playoff match this year.
Yeah, you know why she's not, the Wakeland coach is not as intense, because she's a fellow Hawaiian like me.
There you go.
It's that aloha spirit. We're not as intense, I guess, but
you're just as good.
Yeah,
you're just as good.
Well, before I let you go, because I just want to get this in, and you can piggyback on it if you want, just to real quick,
Sure.
Because we have to talk about the private schools as well. They starting their playoff run as well. In TAP 6A, of course, it's Prestonwood, who's what, I don't even know what they are. Maybe lost 2-3 games all year long. They have probably the best lineup in the state with all their commits and fellow Gatorade Player of the Year from last year, Macarius.
That's right. Yep.
It runs through them. Obviously, I don't know if there's anyone that is a real threat. 5A is Liberty Christian and from Argyle, defending champs. Frisco Legacy in 5A could give them a run. They've had a really good season. 4A Arlington Grace Prep was defending champs. 2A, I think, was Red Oak Ovilla. I don't think anyone can beat them. And then got to give a shout out to Allison Camp and Dallas Hockaday Daisies. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't think anyone else are named Daisies, but Dallas Hockaday Daisies in SPC 4A. Avery Jackson is an All-American caliber player. I think she went over 1,500 kills, 1,500 digs, and going to play at Stanford Beach volleyball. So
wow,
I think they'll win that state championship in SPC.
That's saying a lot right there to play beach. That's tough.
Hard.
And I saw Hockaday at the Marcus tournament the first week. And it really wasn't around, it wasn't a competitive tournament. It's just kind of around robin teams playing each other. I saw Flower Mound up there. I saw Byron Nelson up there as well. Hockaday's really good.
Oh, yeah.
They can give anybody a tough match. They're well coached. They're disciplined. They've got some firepower. They've got a couple sisters that play on the team. They're good. They're all around good. So, and good luck by the way, kudos and congrats to the teams that did make the playoffs. Your season falls short, but you know what? You practiced, you got up early in the morning, you had you had volleyball period, you had athletic period. You went and you played and you entertained the fans just as much as all the teams that we've talked about. So, if your season is finished, hey, kudos and a tip of the hat to all the seniors that have played their last matches for their program, and wishes for continued success as they move on in life.
Amen. Good stuff. And then before one last thought,
Yes.
thank you for the shout out for GM Sports Media and your awesome interviews. Thank you for letting us having you on for the Player of the Week and Team of the Week, Big Daddy Media, Player of the Week and Team of the Week. And shout out to this week's winners. Player of the Week was Marley Howard from the S&S Rams in North Texas, Tacoma area. 41 kills in one match, and then she had 30
Wow.
kills the following match. Incredible. She was the Player of the Week, and then team of the Week again, Haltom for breaking that 15-year
Right.
drought. So, Big Daddy Media Player of the Week, Team of the Week, and that will come out. The next one will come out Saturday or Sunday, and voting will be done Monday or Tuesday. But thanks for letting us do that, Chuck.
Oh, dude, happy to do it. Like I said, it's been a great relationship and looking forward to growing it as we move forward for sure.
Well, we appreciate Chuck always, and hopefully we'll see you down the road. If not, we'll see you at in Garland for state.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I'm sure we'll see each other during the playoffs. Definitely.
For sure. All right, that's Chuck Licata, State Insider Volleyball. And remember, you can catch his GM Sports Media Big Daddy Media player interview with Justin Northwest tomorrow morning, and you can catch that on Facebook, right?
Yep. Facebook, Instagram, and X, as they call it now. I guess we have to call it X now.
And follow him on Twitter or X at Big D Media 19.
Yes, sir.
All right. So for Maddie Colley and GM Sports Media, I'm Brian Gossett, and this was another episode of Game Time with the Goss. Enjoy the volleyball games and the playoff run, and good luck to all, and we'll see you next time.